Okay, so we're going to look at the definitions of acids, alkalis, and what a neutral substance is. So I haven't got a red piece of paper, but this is pink. Okay, so anything that is acidic, okay, has hydrogen ions in. Hydrogen ions are H plus. So if anything contains an H or H plus ions, then it is acidic. Now, what I've got here is a big beaker, and mainly it's water, okay? And I'm going to put some hydrogen ions in there, and some OH ions, because there'll always be maybe a few, okay? But if you count up, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 hydroxide ions, and 5 hydrogen ions, okay? So that makes this only just an acid because there's only one extra hydrogen ion. So that might be pH maybe 5 or 6. But the more hydrogen ions you add into the solution, the more acidic it becomes. Okay, so in an acid, the number of hydrogen ions is much greater than the number of hydroxide ions. And the more hydrogens there are, the stronger the acid. Okay, so more H plus, the stronger the acid. Okay, so that's how you define an acid. Okay, I'm going to move that out of the way now. So if we look at an alkali, okay, alkalis all have hydroxide ions in. You've come across that before, OH minus. That's what makes something an alkali. Okay, now remember the difference between a base and an alkali is that an alkali is dissolved in lots of water. So again, I've got my beaker of water here. And I'm going to draw some hydroxide ions in there. And because it's an alkali, I've got blue paper this time. And there'll be a few hydrogen ions. But again, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 hydrogen ions and 5 hydroxide ions. So that's only just an alkali, maybe pH 8. Okay, and the more hydroxide ions I add in, the stronger the alkali. So an alkali is when the number of hydroxide ions is bigger than the number of hydrogen ions. And the more hydroxide ions that are in excess, the stronger the alkali. Okay, so an alkali is defined by the number of hydroxide ions. And now we've got pure water here. So pure water, okay, is when the number of hydrogen ions is equal to the number of hydroxide ions. So I've got 5 hydrogen ions, so I would need to have 5 hydroxide ions. Okay, and when the number of hydrogen ions is equal to the number of hydroxide ions, we say that the solution is neutral. So it's equal number of hydrogen ions and hydroxide ions. Okay, now if we look at this and we combine every hydrogen ion with a hydroxide ion, I'm not quite sure whether you can see what's happening here. Okay, if we take one hydrogen ion and we add it to a hydroxide ion, we get H2O, which is your pure water. Okay, so any neutral solution is pure water, because every hydrogen ion mixes with a hydroxide ion and makes a water molecule. Okay, and the pH of a neutral solution is exactly 7. Okay, so that's a little summary of neutral. Alkali, more hydroxide ions than hydrogen ions, and the pH of an alkali is between 8 and 14. Okay, pH 8 to 14 is an alkali, lots of hydroxide ions. And an acid is where you've got an excess of hydrogen ions. The pH of an acid is between 1 and 6, I should be putting there. 1 and 6. Okay, so pH 1 to 6 is acidic when there is an excess of hydrogen ions. Okay, more hydrogen ions than hydroxide ions.